America. But underneath that all was the formation of something that would prove to have far more longevity and be perhaps just as, if not more influential in its particular genre. Talking about the beginnings of the East Coast Wrestling Association. Some 45 years later, we converge here to unify arguably the two most prestigious regional championships in the history of this part of these United States. The TWA Championship that Chris Wylde captured from Breaker Morant predates the original ECW. Certainly predates ECWA's failed relaunch of TWA. It's a championship that helped usher in the era of Extreme that revolutionized this entire industry forever. Chris Wylde is holding so much history in his hand. While it may not compare to ECWA in numbers, you can certainly connect the dots and see without it, this may be a vastly, vastly different industry. You want to talk about numbers? We've been counting it down over the months. 560. That is the number of days Papadon has successfully held that title since he captured it on March the 5th of 2011. If you wanted to find a longer championship reign in the annals of ECWA history, you would have to go back to the very first officially confirmed, verified, and recorded ECWA championship reign, which would have taken place in 1993. Pat Kenny, better known as Simon Diamond, known at the time as Lance Diamond, held that championship for over 2 years' time. Since then, that belt has been held by men like Christian. It's been held by Prince Nana, Scoot Andrews, The Amazing Red, Christopher Daniels, John Walters, Aiden Chambers, and the list goes on and on. Hell, even my colleague Kevin Kelly held it once. But no one can compare to the absolute dominance of Papadon. When you factor in the Mid-Atlantic Championship, when you factor in the Super 8 trophy, when you factor in the Hall of Fame, Papadon is quite simply untouchable in the annals of history. And he's even got his own personal ring announcer now. Another former Mid-Atlantic champion in his own right. Man who really shifted the tide in the rivalry with the Blackhearts when he took that prize from them. A lot of credit deserved to him that maybe he doesn't justly get. Anthony Chico, the former ECWA ring announcer, drinking the Papadon Kool-Aid now. Chico's only introducing one guy, and he still needs cue cards. But then again, this guy's accomplishments is a list a mile long. Well, one of those accomplishments on the mile-long list is yet to come to fruition. A bit presumptuous to proclaim himself the unifier of these two crowns. It is very possible, perhaps even probable, but not inevitable. I can't recall a matchup that had more professional stakes while at the same time more personal pride. Hello! And there you see just how under the other skin both these men are. The championships get dropped and the fists get raised. This match has gotten so volatile and so personal in just the few weeks since the announcement. We'll talk about how that escalated in a moment, but Wylde gonna elevate himself, huge corkscrew. Amazing rotation, amazing velocity, just getting his own body spinning in the air, so much more momentum on the fall. And Papadon, the collision was very physical, but it didn't keep either of these men down. Jeez! It is physical as hell here in the 45-year anniversary. Keep in mind it was Chris Wylde who was a savior of ECWA in that War Games matchup a month ago. Wylde had the trump card, the ace up his sleeve. He had that fire, literally and figuratively, as Wylde gets sent into the people. And now it's going to get even more dangerous. Referee John Finnegan, no stranger to these type of environments, but man, with the way Papadon and Wylde are going at it, I can't recall ever seeing two men unload like this straight from Jump Street. And we've got people scurrying everywhere, confused and frightened for their lives here. Wylde goes cross-body, elevates himself off one of those bleachers over there. And they are all the way in the back of this building, launching an all-out assault on one another. And, well, we apologize as we try to get our cameras into place here. Wylde has been Wylde's been thrown behind the merchandise area quite aggressively. And Papadon meets a similar fate. And once again, it's almost like an old West movie. Just sliding him down the table. Gee! And that wall may be padded, but you run into it at full speed head first, I guarantee it's going to do some damage. It's not going to feel good. Look out! Chair to the head. Reckless abandon.
Match is too big. I'm letting him go.
You heard John Finnegan in the background say this matchup is too big. He's going to let him fight. So many famous unification matches in history have gone to draws or non-decisions. Attempts to unify the NWA and WWF titles, the NWA and AWA titles, even attempts to unify championships in the umbrella of a single promotion. When you get stakes this high, tempers flare, and you don't always have a set final decision. I'm just thankful these men are back in the ring for the safety of everybody involved, but that has not slowed down this matchup one bit. And Wylde, first fall attempt, finds two as I attempted to set the stage several moments ago. Wylde was the hero and savior of the ECWA as Papadon pushes Wylde off. Back at War Games, Wylde was the reason that ECWA was able to come away with a victory, but moments afterwards, Papadon made the story all about Papadon once again. He had to have the spotlight. He had to prove to everybody all over again that this company revolves around him. And just when it seemed that Papadon had done the right thing and helped ECWA restore their good standing in this rivalry and in this industry, Papadon made himself the story, tried to prove he was bigger than this organization once again, which is a point I would highly contest. But Papadon at this point in time is proving to be bigger than Chris Wylde, if not just, albeit momentarily. With the snapmare and the follow-through clothesline. Papadon, whose biggest strength has seemed to always be endurance. It'll be very interesting to see how that plays in to a matchup like this. Wylde carrying much less body weight and also factoring in just how ferocious they have fought through the first minutes of this contest. Papadon is just built like an absolute machine. There's no off switch. There's no E on his tank. Wild elbows Papadon, trying to counter. And Papadon elevating himself. And Wylde taken down. Papadon with an amazing just midstream recovery there to pop up and drive Wylde down. And that face speaks volumes. I think you are seeing a rare occasion of hesitation, apprehension on Papadon as Wylde fights back still. Papadon up a hair quicker, caught Wylde in the short ribs. Papadon has yet to find the opportunity to dictate the tempo of this contest. Something he loves to do. Something he's so effective at. And now Papadon starting to trash talk. Starting to lay in the psychological advantage here. Wylde pushed off. Knife edge by Papadon. Second time. And it's Papadon with a chin lock. Away. And again, that endurance factor coming into play again as Papadon loves to just slowly sap the life out of you. Wylde with the elbows. Oh, check this out. Counter. That back suplex worked before. Second time, not the charm. And check this out. Wylde using that quickness. Papadon tried to grasp on, did not work. The elbow connects. And it's Wylde unloading here. The lung blower to tap things off. Slow into the cover, however. You can see the pain and punishment both these men have put one another through, but Papadon still up. You can hear the encouragement of Anthony Chico on the outside. He continues to cheer on. His charge, Papadon. And Wylde with a front hold into the Bulldog takedown. And again, it's a situation where, and wait a second, Finnegan distracted by Chico. Wylde could have had this matchup won. Papadon charging. Almost hit his own representation. And Wylde makes sure they collide. Wylde could have this here. O'Connor roll. Shoulders are down. No, near fall. And Wylde on top of Chico. You want to talk about two for the price of one. Wylde using that momentum to his advantage. Wylde gets the shoulder tackle. Up and over. Sunset flip is coming up. Papadon, feet on the ropes. Or rather, the hands on the ropes. Went for leverage and couldn't get it. John Finnegan detected it. Wylde almost capitalized to unify the championships. And again, the prestige of being a unified champion. And not only will enhance the ECWA Championship to have that lineage attached to it, but whoever walks out with that unified championship, Papadon with the elbow, the uppercut. He got him here. No. This matchup will only increase the prestige as we enter the 46th year of this great organization. Suplex coming up, Wylde counters. And again, it's been a situation where Papadon has not been able to dominate this matchup like he normally does. A combo, however, gets two again. Papadon has not been in his element, and I think you can see the frustration on the man's face. This match has been 50-50. More so than what Papadon likes to dictate it as it. Wylde, look at the power! Great deadlift of Papadon. And elevated into the sliced bread variation. Papadon stacked up for two. Wylde doing some great covers here on Papadon, making sure all of Papadon's weight is over top of Papadon's own shoulders. That makes it so much tougher to kick out. All of Papadon's weight works as a detriment. Here comes Wylde with the elbow. The follow through with that boot. And look out, the cannonball, but nobody home. And now it is a pivotal point in this matchup as both men attempt to recover. Papadon, look at a charge, and buries that foot. Second time. Papadon finally has Wylde prone for an extended period of time, making the most out of it. But not enough. Wylde with the kicks. Third time. The ECWA champion is down. Near fall. Wylde again, just a hair away. Unbelievable effort here. Papadon calling for Chico. And what I think you can see why. A chain got passed in. Chico's distracting Finnegan. He can't see any of this. But Wylde used the chain. Wylde using the chain. He's on top of Papadon here. We have a new champion now. How close can you get? And you can sense Papadon getting desperate. But Wylde has an answer at every corner. And Wylde gets dropped. And Papadon can barely stand, trying to regroup. And he finds his way onto the turnbuckle pad. And there is a steel bolt. You get a shot of it there. That steel bolt covered by that padding is now exposed and fair game. I don't think John Finnegan realizes that that bolt is exposed. Wylde gets the foot up. Papadon blocks. Both men are struggling to use that bolt as a weapon. Both men avoid it for now. Papadon's low clothesline to no avail. Wylde caught in midstream. The TKO onto the knee. Papadon loves the combos. Could be brainbuster. Got it. Will this spell the end of the TWA champion? 2-0. And again, Papadon's face is telling the story. Papadon could not believe that did not net him a victory. Those sharp round kicks connecting flush. Counter. Wylde trips Papadon up. But the Greek God still a step ahead. Amazing torque on the clothesline.
No! 3!
Well, you can hear the debate about the count. Papadon as Wylde caught. Trapped in the corner again. In a precarious position, there's nowhere to land that feels good. Pushed off. And Wylde gonna fly with a swanton. Wylde has him. Hook in the leg. No! A very long 2 count. So close to the promised land. But after 560 days, Papadon is not ready to lay down. Papadon step ahead once more, and both men collide. The double clothesline connects. Who will be first to their feet? Again, a potential major turning point in this all-important championship clash. It's a dead even exchange, center of the ring. Wylde gets the upper hand momentarily. And Papadon meets the elbow of the Heart Killer. Huge impact DDT from the second turnbuckle. All the momentum on Papadon's head and almost had him. Again, Wylde less than 1 second away from making history and becoming perhaps the most decorated athlete in the history of this area, which speaks volumes based on the man he currently shares the ring with. But to unify these two prizes is an accomplishment beyond normal recognition. Papadon catches Wylde with the German, bridging up, shoulders down, and again an ear fall. Papadon with a shining wizard. That knee right to the temple. It's knocked out so many men, and Papadon retains the... No! A maneuver Papadon has used to finish off countless men in his 560 days, and Papadon is in such disbelief he can only go back to the pin. And Papadon is thinking that was supposed to be the ending. But Chris Wylde, fueled on by the humiliation of a month ago, Papadon ruined Chris Wylde's moment. Wylde determined to do the same to Papadon, as Papadon looks for his crowning achievement, to capture every prestigious heavyweight title this area knows. And now Papadon's done that in a literal sense now, as he's absconded with both championships. And John Finnegan drawing the line somewhere. Well, the first title didn't do it, but the second one did. Wylde's been knocked out by the title. And Papadon gonna steal it now! The latest shortcut was not enough. And Chris Wylde is still fighting. Roll up. Stacks him up again. No. Oh, Wylde was just a few inches off from having that weight perfectly displaced. The left shoulder was exposed. A super kick. A sunset bomb. He's got it now, no. And Wylde coming so close. And Wylde can feel it here. Could this be the end? Wylde got tripped up one more time. Papadon loves to do that, some damage from that particular point, but even Papadon having trouble standing. And we talked about the endurance factor. The machine is showing a chink in the armor, albeit a small one. Papadon has worked for 560 days for this moment, to be able to lay claim to quite simply everything. And this is his time. The superplex connects. The roll through. Power up countered. Wylde got just enough to transfer the momentum. And just enough to cinch in a submission here. Wylde gonna choke the life out of the Greek god. The fans want Papadon to tap. Papadon could tap away the world here.
Answer me! Come on, Papadon! Answer me!
Papadon's fading.
Answer me, Papadon!
Papadon is... His eyes are slowly closing. His arm is growing more limp.
Come on, answer me! Thank you so much.
Finnegan watching closely here. The arm drops once. Could this be? That's the end! We have seen history! We have witnessed history, decades in the making, as the ECWA and TWA championships are unified, which in itself is a huge story of magnanimous proportions. But 560 days came down to just 3 seconds. And you see the emotion, the jubilation on Chris Wylde as this moment sinks in for him. Chris Wylde he's beaten the unbeatable. And this locker room is pouring into this ring. And there you see a moment that will echo through time. Wylde was the savior of this company in War Games and in the war with Breaker Morant to capture the TWA title. And he's now liberated the ECWA Championship and regained the moment that Papadon took from him, and then some. Chris Wylde is on top of the mountain and has made history, just as ECWA has. A moment 45 years in the making that will echo through time and resonate through history. Chris Wylde has reached a major career pinnacle, and much to the chagrin of Papadon, who can only look on and realize his moment has been stolen. But it's been stolen by a man who truly earned it. Papadon didn't tap, but he was unconscious. Hey, come on! Hey, don't you do that. Papadon's got the matchmaker chosen only, and we got a tense situation here. Well, this night is about Chris Wylde. Now, come on. Get him out of here. This night is about Chris Wylde. And the
You did not tap. You still there. You didn't tap. You didn't give up. You didn't give up.
well, this is jealousy. This is insecurity. And this is quite frankly sad. But in the ring is a moment that is anything but sad.
Fight another day. Come on, Papadon.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Chris Wylde continues his celebration, 45 years of lineage comes down to this moment. Thank you for joining us at our anniversary celebration. Chris Wylde is now the man in ECWA.
upon